cold water in the second glass. And the hot water in the first one. Okay. Now we are going to add this ink or the dye to see what happens. So first I'm going to put this dye inside the hot water, and now I'm going to put this in the cold water. As you can see that inside the hot water the dye mixed properly, and inside the cold water the dye is still mixing. This is because in case of hot water, the water molecules have more kinetic energy and they move faster. But in case of cold water, the water molecules have less kinetic energy and they move slow, and therefore the mixing is not proper in case of cold water and it is proper in case of hot water. The dye mixed faster in the hot water and it is still mixing in the cold water, as you can see. So this is the experiment of diffusion. Do you like food items like bread, dhokla, or tasty appams? I love them. But do you know what they put inside these food items? It's yeast. Yeast is a single-celled organism belonging to the kingdom fungi. And let us now see with the help of an experiment that how this yeast helps in the making of these tasty food items. In the first class, we are going to add some yeast. And then we are going to put normal water or warm water. In the second glass, we are again going to put some yeast. We are going to put the same amount of yeast in all these glasses, like approximate same. We are not going to put sugar in the first glass, but we are going to put sugar in other glasses, only 1 spoon. Same amount of sugar is being put in all the other 3 glasses. Now in the second glass we are going to pour warm water. Almost the same level as the first glass. And in the third glass we are going to pour cold water. And in the last glass, that is the fourth glass, we are going to pour hot water. Almost the level of water is same in all these glasses. Remember that in the first glass we have not put sugar, it's just yeast and normal water. In the second glass we have put yeast, sugar and warm water. In the third glass we have put yeast, sugar and cold water. And in the fourth glass we have put yeast, sugar with hot water. I have mixed all the contents inside this glass properly, and then now let us see what happens to these glasses after 30 minutes. It is 30 minutes and now let us see what has happened in these glasses. As you remember that in the first glass we did not put sugar, and in the other 3 glasses we had put sugar. In the first glass there is only yeast and normal water, so you can see that there is little to no growth of the yeast because there is no sugar in it. Now in the second glass we can see the presence of a foam and the solution has risen up. In the second glass we did put warm water, yeast and sugar. In the third glass there is no growth of the yeast because in cold water the yeast remains dormant. And in the fourth glass there is no growth at all because the yeast died in the fourth glass as it contained hot water. Why did the in the second glass, why did the solution rise up and why did it foam? It is because in the presence of sugar, the yeast enzyme like invertase breaks down the sugar into glucose, ethanol, and carbon dioxide. So warm water is as the perfect temperature, which helps in the growth and the functioning of yeast, and it activates the enzyme invertase, which breaks down the sugar into glucose. What we saw right now is the process of fermentation, and this process is used in various industries, like the industries which make wine or bread. Yeast is used as a rising agent and to give flavor to the food item and to produce alcohol. So, this is the process of fermentation, which is also used in our favorite food items like appams and doklas or breads. Eureka, eureka. Have you ever heard this word? It means that I have found something. Now you might be wondering who said these words. It was Archimedes, the Greek mathematician. One day, king called Archimedes and asked him to check the purity of his crown because he suspected that his crown was mixed with gold and silver, except using pure gold. So Archimedes decided to take a bath before thinking for a solution. While taking bath, he noticed something. So he ran out shouting Eureka, Eureka, like he found out something. So we will understand what he found out while taking bath by doing a small experiment using a plastic bottle which is half cut and a small plastic ball.
Hmm.
What did we observe in this experiment? When the water was flowing on this ball, it was exerting a certain force, because of which the ball was not rising above. But the moment I closed the mouth of this bottle, the ball started floating on the water. This was because there was a force exerted by the water molecules, which was upwards and which is known as the buoyant force. Similarly, Archimedes also observed this when he was taking a bath. He saw that as the moment he entered the bathtub, he displaced some amount of water. And this displaced water was equal to the force exerted by the water, which is the buoyant force. He used this principle to solve King's problem, and he also told King that his crown was mixed with silver and it was not pure gold. Archimedes' principle states that when an object is submerged inside the fluid, there is an upward buoyant force, which is equal to the fluid displaced by the object. If the buoyant force is more than the weight of the object, like in case of this ball, when I kept my hands in the opening of this mouth of the bottle, the buoyant force was more than the weight of the ball. So the ball started to float. Similarly, if the buoyant force is less than the weight of the ball will sink. That's how ships are made. It is made in such a way that the buoyant force is more and the water or the fluid displaced is more, so that the ship will not sink in the water.